To get started, we'll measure out 2 cups of water between 100 and 105 degrees Fahrenheit. If the water is over 110, it will kill the yeast. To that water, we will add 2/3 of a cup of sugar and 6 teaspoons of dry yeast and mix thoroughly. We will then set it aside to let it proof while we get started on the rest of the ingredients. So to start off with, we're going to add 4 cups of flour to our bread maker, and then we're going to add our salt and mix it together. We're adding our 4 cups of flour and 9 teaspoons of salt, and we'll begin to mix that to bring it together. And once it looks like it's mixed through fairly well, we will add our yeast and begin adding more flour. So now we're going to add 6 teaspoons of oil. I'm using olive oil. 4 cups of hot water. And then we will mix this and then add our 2 cups of water and sugar with yeast. We add more flour and continue mixing until the dough gathers up onto the hook as a nice smooth ball. Now that our dough ball is now gathering up onto the hook and beginning to smooth out, and now moving as a single piece. So now we disassemble the bread maker, and we need to oil our bowl so that our bread does not stick to the inside. Having a little oil on your hand will help keep the bread from sticking to you as you try to transfer it. Pull it off the hook. And place it in your bowl. Now place a damp rag over the top of it and place someplace warm to allow it to rise for roughly an hour. Now let our dough rise, and now we're going to start rolling it out to make our cinnamon rolls. So just like we did in our bread video, we're going to flour our countertop, our workspace, and then bring our dough into the center and try to spread it out. We're going to go for a very large rectangle, which we will then add our butter, cinnamon, and sugar to. So now that we've rolled out our dough, we're going to take our butter, which we've let come up to room temperature to soften, and we're going to spread the butter onto our doughy surface. You can use as much butter as you like. For what I have here, I'll probably use about a whole stick. Make sure you get the butter all the way out to the edges, otherwise when we go to add our cinnamon sugar it won't stick very well. Okay. Set that off to the side. Now we're going to add our cinnamon and sugar. We can add this quite generously. I'll put a link in the description to the amount of cinnamon and sugar that we have in this recipe. Alrighty. And now we try to very tightly roll this. Trying to keep it very uniform as we go. Alrighty. We now have our log that we're going to cut our cinnamon rolls. I recommend cutting them into about 1 inch long sections, 1 inch to 1.5 inches. And then we will set them on our sheet. Make sure to leave a little bit of space between them because we're going to let these rise so they get nice and large. These will come out a little bit bigger than your store-boughts. And for this size roll, I'm probably going to get about 6 to a tray. Now I have non-stick cooking sheets with a non-stick mat on them. If you don't have that, you're going to want to use non-stick spray or butter on your pans to keep your cinnamon rolls from sticking. Now we place our bread in the oven for 15 minutes at 400 degrees. And then another 30 minutes at 350. All right, it's about time that we pull out our cinnamon rolls. Look at those beauties.